and so we need you to deliver these supplies to the colony.
Of course, we can be ready to leave first thing in the morning. We've arrived. Let's prepare the box.
Preparing communication box. Firstly, our part of a nanotech enhanced ink for secure communication. A hollow pad which contains the different hash languages and encryption algorithms available, a message from you regarding landing procedures, and the code phrase that signals the end of this communication. Then finally, your ID and the ID of a colony's leader. The box must then be closed and sealed with your handprint.
Let's send this down.
This is Commander Cypher of the Deep Space Company, here to deliver the new equipment you requested. In the box you will find our version of the nano ink, and both yours and mine identity cards. Also, this unit contains various hash languages and different encryption algorithms for you to choose from. You should also know that, due to an approaching storm, delivery will have to wait till next week. Alpha out.
I must send my box back. My people need that equipment. Everything seems to be in order. Better send it up.
It's the communication box from the planet. We need to open it and make sure procedure is being followed.
Commander Cypher, this is Liana, leader of the Gaia settlement. We received your message regarding the delivery of equipment and are ready to begin communication with you. In this box, you will find our version of the nanotech enhanced ink and both of our ID cards. This holopad also contains the hash language that we would like to use and the encryption algorithm that we have selected to use. To confirm that this is the next message, here is the code phrase from your previous message.
Alpha out.
Thank you for letting us know about the storm. We'll prepare the landing pad for next week. Beta over.
We should send the confirmation box down, then we can prepare to land. Send it down.
Right away, Commander.
Hello Liana, Commander Cypher here. We received your earlier message ending in
Beta over.
We confirm that you want to use this hash language and the encryption algorithm you sent back. We will see you next week. Alpha out.
The instigator sends the receiver, in a data packet, a Diffie-Hellman group name which was decided on at an earlier date, a Diffie-Hellman public key, options for hash and authentication methods, their ID and the ID of the receiver, announced to prevent replay attacks, and, optionally, other information that may be needed. Here, Commander Cypher sends the colony a box of items with a code engraved in the box acting as the group name. In this example, the Diffie-Hellman public key for the instigator is represented by the blue ink that Cypher sends down to the colony. This ink has nanobot technology in it so that it can hide the message written with it and will be combined with the colony's ink to create the final version of the ink. Commander Cypher sends the colony various languages that can be used to create hash codes, allowing the colony to choose one to use. These languages act as the hash functions that the instigator offers to the receiver. Along with the various languages, the datapad that the commander sends down also contains different algorithms that can be used for authentication. The instigator also sends the identification of both the receiver and the instigator. This is represented by the ID cards for Cypher and the colony leader. When the message has ended, Cypher provides a code phrase that gives the message a sequence. The Greek alphabet is used for the sequence of the messages. This acts as the nonce, which helps prevent replay attacks, as it helps the parties in communication know if a message has been sent again or out of sequence. Optionally, the instigator can send other information that they believe the receiver needs to know. Here, Cypher sends some extra information on the landing conditions for the colony. The first 7 items in the data packet are then signed with the instigator's private key. Here, the first 7 items are put in the box, which is then sealed with Cypher's handprint. Before the receiver can accept the items in the data packet, they have to validate the signature in the packet with the instigator's public key. Here, the colony uses the company's keycard, given at an earlier date, to unlock the box containing the items and help confirm that the box is, in fact, from the company. After looking at the contents of the data packet sent by the instigator, the receiver then sends their own data packet. Their data packet will have the same Diffie-Hellman group name, as it is part of the same exchange. Here, the leader of a colony prepares their own box, which also has the same number engraved in it. The receiver also has a Diffie-Hellman public key, which is represented by the pink ink that the colony sends back up to Cypher. Like Cypher's ink, the colony's ink has nanobot technology in it so that it can hide the message written with it and will be combined with Cypher's ink to create the final version of the ink. The receiver then sends the instigator their choice of hash function. Here, the leader of a colony sends a datapad that contains the function they want to use to create a hash. The receiver also sends their choice of authentication algorithms used for authentication. The colony leader also sends the algorithm they want to use on the datapad along with a hash function. The receiver also sends the identification of the instigator and their own identification. These are represented by the identification cards for both the colony leader and Cypher. The receiver also sends the instigator's nonce back to them to let them know that they are replying to their message with that nonce in it. This helps to prevent or identify replay attacks. Here, the leader of a colony replays the commander's code phrase to let Cypher know that they are replying to that previous message. The receiver then ends the message with their nonce to continue the message sequence. The leader of a colony ends the communication with the next letter in the Greek alphabet to give her communication with Cypher a sequence. Again, the receiver can send any other information to the instigator that they think will be needed. The colony leader lets Cypher know that they understand their previous information and that they will act accordingly. The first 8 items of the data packet are then signed with the receiver's private key. Here, the colony puts the first 8 items inside a box, which is then sealed with her handprint. Before the instigator can accept the items in the data packet, they have to validate the signature in the packet with the receiver's public key. Cypher uses the colony's keycard, given at an earlier date, to unlock the box containing the items and help confirm that the box is, in fact, from the colony. The instigator sends a confirmation data packet to the receiver. This communication instance has the same Diffie-Hellman group name to show that this message is part of the same message group. The box that Cypher sends back to the colony has the same number engraved in it as the other boxes to show that it is part of the same communication instance. The instigator resends their Diffie-Hellman public key. Cypher resends his blue nanobot ink. After the receiver has selected the hash function they want to use, the instigator sends confirmation down that they will use that function in further communication. Cypher confirms to the colony the language they want to use to create a hash in the future. The same is done for the authentication algorithm that the receiver chose. Cypher also confirms the authentication program that the colony selected in their previous message. The identification of the instigator is also sent down, as is the identification of the receiver. The ID cards of both Cypher and the colony leader are sent down again. The instigator reuses the two nonces generated in the previous two steps to help specify that this third data packet is related to the previous packet, and to help prevent replay attacks. Here, Cypher includes the code phrases from the previous messages to show that this new message is related to them. The instigator can send more extra information that they believe may be useful for the receiver to know. In this example, Cypher decides that there is no extra information to provide the colony. The first 8 items of a data packet are then signed with the instigator's private key. Similar to the previous exchanges, the receiver will use the instigator's public key to validate the signature in the data packet. Here, Cypher puts the first 8 items inside a box, which is then sealed with his handprint. As with the previous box exchanges, the colony will use the company's keycard to unlock the box and help confirm that the box is from the company.